Hi, hi, hi. It's Mrs. Stitches, or Sheila, and Chicken Hawk. We're going to have him until he makes lots of noise. Then he'll go back downstairs. But for now, I thought it'd be nice to just have a little chickie with me. And this is my Flosstube. This is episode number 49, Mrs. Stitches. I got some notes, so let's see how well I can do at keeping on track. Okay. So I have 2 finishes. I don't think I have any new starts. I have a couple of some whips to show. So let's start off with the finishes. So you kind of saw a little bit of these before, but these are my finishing on, it's that little canvas. And so this one here I did, and it fit in really nicely. I tried doing the lacing on the back. Now I could have done a bit better job at lacing, but for now it's good enough for me. So there you go, that's that one. And and then the second one I glued. I got that Aleene's glue and I glued it. So these, I was originally going to tack it in place, but then I had to deal with the edges. So I tried some other glue that didn't work as well and stained it up. And then I got the Aleene's glue. Oops. Yeah, it still shows the glues. But anyways, I did glue it on, and that works well. So, right, Chicky? There we go. That one go there. And that one go there. There we go. Okay, so let's start off with, I am still working on my November finish. I finished all the cross stitching. This is the Dark Queen of the Sea. I am now working on the back stitching of her tentacles. And it's a bit of a challenge. What I'm doing, because it's so daunting, and I got still to do also the beading and some more back stitching, but I just do a little bit every day. And that's sometimes when something is a little bit challenging, that's the best way to do it. So this is the Dark Queen of the Sea by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And what I've been working on is, I'm going to bring it a little bit closer, is down here at the bottom, she has all this pattern of back stitching done with Krynic or whichever. Metallic thread. I picked DMC Diamond. It's not so bad. I always remember people talking about being like the devil's thread, but you just use short strands, but it's kind of cool, and it's hard to follow, of course, when you're doing a back stitching like this, but really, what doesn't matter? No one is going to notice. It's just to get a pattern. So you get in the right spot, you don't, it's all good. So there you go. There's a bit of shine. So I'm almost getting there. And then I think I got a couple more spots to go, but it shouldn't be so bad. I don't think there's a bit more of the metallic thread on some other spots, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So what else did I say about persistence creates enjoyment? So it's interesting to me when there's something you don't enjoy, just break it down into smaller bits. And so with this, I thought to myself, I just kind of saw, well, I'll do 3 lengths. The lengths I do are only about that long, because that's the thing with metallic thread, you want to use short lengths. And so I just did 3 lengths each morning, and you make progress. And as you're doing it, you actually enjoy it because you start seeing the results. So I think it's the whole same principle with 30-minute a day working on something. But if ever there's something you cannot finish, so usually back stitching, just do a little bit every day. And I can't remember what, there was a phrase I heard once, something like measuring the toads or measuring the frogs, where it's a chore you don't like, you always do it first thing. Get it done, and then you're free to go. So, and I think in this case, the outcome is worth it. So I didn't know whether I really wanted to do this part. I'm happy with the way, and that's what it all that matters to you is, are you happy with it? So that's my Dark Queen of the Sea. So we're still working on her. She's not quite done yet, but that's okay. Okay, so then I spun the wheel. So I have a wheel of my whips. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Gonna sneeze, chicken hawk. Oh, oh, that was loud. Oh, oh. Okay, so I spun the wheel and I picked out, this is Nightmare Before Christmas sale from a couple of years ago. And what I'm doing is I'm filling in a boat. And so this is, I added this whole boat thing. And so I'm just doing some random colors. Well, there's 4 colors, but I'm doing them like planks. And I've done white. It's actually, I think I'm more of a gray behind all the lettering there, as if it's like a wood. So you can see it more up here. It's like painted wood on top of the boat. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So I worked 2 days on this. I got word that I am going out to BC. I'm leaving December 10th, 11th. So I have all these finishes that I want to do next year. And so I'm actually going to take this as a finish because it is super small. I only have like 4 threads, 4 different colors, and it's pretty portable. So, and I don't even need any pattern. So that's super easy. So that one is going with me to BC. It might be my January finish because it's only probably got a couple of days. So, and that'd be good. So, and anything else? Nope, that's all I wanted to say about that. Next is, for the month of November, it's called Nevermore November in Halloween Cross Stitch Challenge. And I am doing, oh, I've been bad at doing the picture-in-picture. I am doing Wicked Siblings. It will look like this when I'm finished. Yes, yeah, something magically goes there. Yeah, I have to do it afterwards in editing. Hopefully I do it right. This is where I was last time. I'll learn it. I'll get better. I promise. And this is where I am now. I usually try to, I think I got about 400 stitches in. So I'm just doing on all the black outline. My margins are close. Over on the edge here, they are close, but it says, oops, let's get that black thread out of the way, Chicken Hawk. Yeah. We're going to just take it through to the other side. This is the way I deal with hanging threads. There we go. Because then you can't tell. It's magic. All Hallows Eve. It was funny, as I did this, in my head, it was All Hallows Eve with an O, Hallows Eve, because there's the Headless Horseman. I thought that was, I don't know, for some reason I was thinking hollow as opposed to hallow. And as I was doing it, it's like, that's a funny looking O. And then I realized it's All Hallows Eve. So that was just a little mental whoop. There you go. So that I've done most of the wording, and now I'm just working up and doing more of the border. So there you go. It's a nice stitch. The fabric I chose is a little tight. I could have picked easier fabric, that's all. So, but it's still coming along. So, and that's by Mama Witch X Stitch, I believe. I got it off of Etsy. And there you go. Okay. So we can tick these off, Chicken Hawk. We'll tick this one off first. And then we did that one. And then we did that one. Okay. Then I spun again. And I got an old favorite, which I got to get some work done on this. So also, as I'm going, I'm thinking, what am I going to take out with me to BC? I don't know how long I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there about two plus weeks before the surgery. And then I'll probably be there at least 6 weeks after the surgery. So I might be back, I'm thinking in February, maybe March. So I got to plan things and take things out. But anyways, I'm not sure if I'll take this one. This one's very easy to take too. So I'll probably take this one. This is Pandemic, and worked on it for 2 days. I actually wrote down my numbers on this. So bye Chicken Hawk. This was at 38.4% and I got it to 41.3%. So So the note that I made on this was mistakes. You must fudge to get it back on track. So some things you have to frog, some things you refuse to frog. So what did I do? This is pandemic, and I worked over here, and I did a mistake. It was a funny mistake, actually. I think it was a funny mistake. I wasn't paying attention, and I actually did all these exactly the same, and the middle one is only two. You can see those little cross hatches. It's if these are 3, this one was only 2 and then 3. So when I got further along, things weren't matching up. So with this, because you have all these motifs, you need them to match up. So I wasn't matching up somewhere along, I think when the tree came down to here, it wasn't matching up. So I just fudged, and you can't tell, you wouldn't know. So I did a fudge. I essentially took a row out, here somewhere, and just made it look as good as I could. So I dare you to try and figure out how I fudged. You can't. So that's pretty much what I did, was all this area. I think I came down with this and did this part and just kind of worked in that whole area. So that's pandemic. I do enjoy it. I also enjoy working on things that are paper patterns, because then I can watch Flosstube. So when it's on my pattern keeper, I can't watch Flosstube. It's all on my phone. So I do have a Chromebook, which I can use sometimes, but its battery doesn't last very long. So then it's just gets to be a thing, and that gets too cluttered. So sometimes I'll listen to books on tape or listen to the radio. And then sometimes I just want to watch Flosstube, so I like to get out a paper pattern. So that's the way. But I spun, so that was good to get pandemic back. That will probably go out with me to BC. So we got 2 going to BC, plus all my new starts I'm going to be doing out there. So then I spun. This one will not be going to BC with me, and I got Mini Admiral Ladner. So Mini Admiral Ladner is a Heaven and Earth Designs. It's a mini. And it is, I think it's a Randall Spangler, I think. Do you know? I don't know. You know what I forgot to do in the last one? I forgot to do where it was and pictures like that. Oh, well. Okay, so I think I have a picture of where this was last time. I have a picture of what it'll look like when it's done. And this is a picture of where it was last time. And this is where I am now. So I think I did 2,245 stitches. I'm not sure if that was right. I don't know. So, oh, there's lots of hanging threads here. I am trying to work them in. Oh, there's still tons of hanging threads. Oh, Sheila. There we go. So I did this. So it is just a little mini, but there you go. That looks funky. There's just a little fold from the what do you call it? The hoop. There you go. I should have turned on the light. It's a little dark in here. I think I'm going to take Chicken Hawk down and turn on the light, although we're almost done. Let's just turn on the light, Chicken Hawk. We'll pause for a sec. There we go. That's a little brighter. Gosh. Okay, now you can see a bit better too. A little bit. So there we go. Obviously, it's just background, and it's greens. It's nothing exciting. Oh, hi, Harry. Okay, we got a cat with us now too. There's Harry. Oh, yes. Kids. Okay, so the thing I wanted to say about the Mini Admiral Ladner is it's because that is on 28 count. It's a very soft linen. And it's obviously 1/1 full X. When I switch from the pandemics on 18 count Aida, and I switch to the 28 1/1, it is such slow stitching. It is just suddenly like, and it's switching to a slow stitch is kind of frustrating, but then after a little while, it actually gets quite meditative and soothing, and you get into it and you kind of, it's okay. So it's interesting, just our perspective on these things. I've been kind of reflective on this, but I think when the wheel makes me do things, I commit to it. So I was doing 2 days on each thing, and that was the last one that I was doing 2 days on what the wheel spun. After that, I picked what either the wheel spun the next one, I think it did, and then I just stuck with it because I wanted to stitch it. So, but it does make it kind of you find the ways of why you love it, and you may not always be immediate, but as you work at it and get into it, you can enjoy it. What was that? That's very loud. We can't be too loud, okay? No, you'll have to go back if you're too loud. Okay, so no more squawks. Okay, because they'll hear that. They hear that super loud. Okay, so one more whip, and then I want to talk about a question I got asked last time. Okay, so my last whip here is, like I said, I spun it, and I think I spun it. It is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm. And I have now made this. I'm planning on finishing this before I go. So that's my goal, so this will be my December finish. Birthday cake is going to be put on the back burner again. So I'll probably take birthday cake with me because it's an easy travel stitch. But I'm actually burnt out on birthday cake, and I still have like 10,000 stitches to go. But this is Huckleberry Farm by Blue Flower. Sorry, trying to get rid of the glare. There we go. And I did a screenshot from my whip parade because I don't think I've worked on it since. In fact, I'm sure that I haven't worked on it since. So this is where I was last time. And I have to pop it out of the Q-snap to show you where I am now. I'm going to just take my needle minder off. I actually don't have a hanging thread on this one. I finished my thread last night. I got a collection of needle minders there now. Yeah, I do. Okay. There we go. We'll put that down there to be quiet for the finally cut off my fabric because I finished off. I did my border over here. So I've actually finished the border down. I finished off this little section here. Again, I had to fudge. Something was off. I fudged. Still working on making sure it's okay. But this is my Huckleberry Farm so far. Last night I finished that big bear right down here. I got a few more. I got a basket there, and then a plant and a plant. And then my finish will be a band that's in here. So, and I'll be doing that as soon as December comes along, so I'll try to get there, but there you go. So I'll just give you a quick, well, you're going to see it when it's finished, so there you go. But that's where I was working, was down there. I don't know if that's in focus or not, but here you go. It's such a joy to stitch. I really enjoy it. So this is kind of like a stitching what you want when you want type thing. I got on it and I thought, oh, I want to keep stitching on that. So there you go. So last episode, somebody asked me about, I had mentioned briefly my plans. I'd kind of been keeping them a little bit in check, but 60 finishes next year. One of those is a monthly series that has been free on Facebook. It will no longer be free, I believe, in the new year. I think it's free up till the end of this year. So I did a little video of where to find it on Facebook, and I'm going to insert that here now. I thought I would just show you what one of the things I'm planning to do next year, because somebody asked about this. So it is a freebie from this Facebook group, Victoria Sampler chat group. So if you just look up Victoria Sampler, I think you'll find it. And what she's been doing is she's been giving out trees once a month. So let me just find them here. I think she does this every year, but after the year is gone, the freebies go away. So here it is. So this is the October tree. So you can see it's a very basic design. And once she actually has links to all the trees so far, and then they're just a quick download. They tend not to have any colors assigned, so you do your own colors, but you would just click on the tree thing, and then it would download. It says it's leaving, continue, and then it's downloaded, and then I would click on it, and I think that'll be it. We'll see. Oh, nope, that was a freebie from Liz Matthews. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I already downloaded it. So can I find it? There it is, November tree. So there it is, and it has directions. And then you can plug it into Pattern Keeper. You just have to know the dimensions. And so it will actually give the dimensions. This is 40 by 30. And so I could do that quickly. Let's just get Pattern Keeper up. I think I already have it open right here. Go back. So add one PDF file. Then I gotta find it. It was called at Facebook November. I ignore this, and now I know the dimensions, 40 high and 30 wide. So I put that in here. So that was 30 wide and 40 high. And then you get this little grid, and it's easiest if you zoom in. And you want to bring the grid up. I think it's going to be this inner, we'll see. Oops. I don't think it's this outer spot. I think it's actually, if I want, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on this side, there is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is actually this inner white border right here. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit more and bring this right to there. And then I have to come up to this corner and bring it down right to there. And then over to this corner and bring it right to there. And then down to this corner. It should be already in the right spot, but let's just see. It looks like it is. Okay, so there we go. And then we just say okay. And then open the chart, and there it is. So, and this has got a lot of backstitching in it, obviously. Again, there's no colors assigned. So you can, when you're in Pattern Keeper, you can just read it as a PDF. So there it is right there. And then I would just actually open it as view as a PDF. You can either do that or just open it up and it's actually already there. So then just follow it. So just a little different. So we'll see how it works. I haven't actually used this yet, so we'll see how it works. So there you go. I thought I would just explain how I'm doing all my trees. So this is February tree here, and I got January tree in here somewhere too. So there you go. There you go. So hopefully you can find it. I'm not sure how it's going to work because I haven't even started any. I'll be starting one in January. But if you wanted to get them, now you know how. You don't have to upload them Pattern Keeper. You could just get the PDFs. It take you a little while. So not a long time, but a little while. Okay. So life. Well, like I said, I'm leaving for BC. The other day, I have a neat little video clip here. We woke up. My husband always gets up before me, so he's already downstairs. And he says, we have this big, huge telescope. And he says, have a look through the telescope. So I do. And way off on part of our island, the opposite island, Briar Island, there was, we have these tidal platforms that, so for a while there, they were bringing in tidal platforms. They were testing out tidal platforms to see if they could harness energy from the tides. It was a Scottish company that had set up in our passage here, and another, I think Scottish company is trying to set up in another passage. But the Scottish company had set up here. My husband and I, we actually, for our first summer, I think, or 1 year, were hired to do marine mammal observations to see if the marine mammals, seals, whales, whatever, would swim near the platform as a safety thing. So we were doing a visual from the shore, just scanning, watching for hours, the passage to track where marine mammals went to see if they avoided the platform and they were safe. The company, I guess, has gone bankrupt or is going bankrupt. So they set up a power plant and they had the lines laid down. They had 2 platforms. And then suddenly, just I think a year ago, they were gone. And it's like, we had heard that they had hit too much government paperwork that they couldn't continue. Since then, we've also heard from someone else, no, they just went bankrupt. So we don't know exactly. But back to the story, that morning I got up, looked in the telescope, and there was the Tidal platform, which is beautiful red and white like Canadian flag. Not in the passage where it's supposed to be anchored, but as a shipwreck on the south point of Briar Island. So we were about to head out to do something. I can't remember exactly what. We've had a few day trips. And so we decided to hop. We had a little extra time, hopped in the car, went over the ferry to Briar Island, went out to look at it, drove back to the ferry, got back, got the next ferry back, and we're all on schedule. So we had barely any time to go film this, but I did a tiny little film of the shipwrecked platform. I'm going to insert that here. We are taking the ferry over to have a look. There is a shipwreck happening over here. Now it's not really a ship, but there you can see it's a tidal power platform on the rocks. And this is our ferry. Beautiful day. We are on Briar Island. This is a monument to Joshua Sloan, and we're out to see the platform I just showed you. But we have to walk a long ways. This is South Point on Briar Island. Go to see it. I'm probably not going to make the ferry. That's okay. Pause. There you go. You can see it right now. I'm going to stop here. Husband's going a little bit closer, but I'm going to just zoom. That is a tidal power platform stuck up on the rocks. Pretty crazy. Go a little bit closer, but we're going to have to run back to catch the next ferry. Or the ferry back. Here he comes. There you go. By the time we got home later that day, well, we got home late that night, so it was the next morning, it had already been taken off the rocks, so we missed that, and it's back in the water, so we don't know what's up with that. But anyways, it made the news, made the CBC news, so that was pretty exciting in our little area, quite exciting when that happens. We've been mostly traveling around looking at cars for me. I want to buy a new car. I've never ever actually owned a new car. So we've been spending quite a bit of time looking. So we went down to Yarmouth and looked at some down there. And then we've been all over looking for cars for me. And I think we're going to end up with Digby. Because I'm about to leave, I don't know if it makes sense for me to get a new car right before I leave, because they have a 3-year warranty, and if I'm gone for 3 months, that's like 1/12 of the warranty just wasted with it sitting there. So we'll see. We haven't fully decided because there's some 2023s and we don't know if they'll be there when I get back. So we're kind of watching them, but maybe they will be and they'll be cheaper. Who knows? So anyways, I'm looking at a Trailblazer. So I think that might be the right car, SUV, compact crossover, that's what it is, crossover SUV. I think it might be the right one for me. My husband was very adamant that not adamant, but he believes that I should get something with all-wheel drive for here. Don't plan on driving in the snow, but our rains get pretty bad and the roads are bad here, so we just kind of thought it, and I test drove it. It has everything I want and need. It doesn't have a lot of power. That's okay. It has enough power for me. I don't have a lead foot. I play by the rules. I follow all the speed limits. So So that's exciting. Not sure if I'll get it before I go or wait till I come back. We'll see. Time is going to go by fast. Oh, time's going to go by fast. So yes, I will be leaving really soon. So there you go. Other than that, we had one more, or our absolute last orienteering. All these have been extras. They don't count towards the standings. Season standings, I did end up second in my age category. The female, I think it's 55 to 65 or 56 to 65. As you know, I'm turning 60 next year. So I think I think it's a 10-year age category, but it might be a 5-year. I think it's 10 year. The one other person who beat me is like, she's 1/5 in the world, and she's like in the advanced, and I'm in the beginner intermediate. So I didn't really expect to beat her, but I was quite pleased with being second in the standings. But by age category, there's all sorts of different ages, so you never know where you're going to end up. But we had one extra one at the end, which was really, really fun one, and I actually did really well. So it was interesting. We it was 2 events in one day. And so the first event, we had our maps. And so my husband has just recently bought compasses. And so I had this fancy thumb compass. And the idea is that it's quicker to orientate yourself and figure out where you're going. So I'd been practicing using it, because you think a compass is simple. It's not. There's actually 3 steps that you must follow in order and do them exactly right. So I'd been practicing. I got them right. My husband thought he knew what he was doing, and then halfway through the event, he's like, I don't know how to use the compass. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, it seems simple at first, but there's actually ways to do it wrong that are quite easy to do it wrong. So you got to do it right. So I purposely went out to just practice doing the compass. This was a very simple course. It would have been easy to not use the compass. My husband in the end didn't use the compass. He did fine. He went in advanced and he beat me, and I came in third, and I was slow, but I actually felt like I gained a lot, like I used the compass. Then the second one was by memory. So you could do no map. I thought it was going to be the same course we just did. So I was very confident. I'm like, no map, no map. We start, and I look at the map, because they say you can look at the map. The map was posted at the start finish, so you could come back anytime to look at the map. Look at the map, and it's different. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. So of course, I had no map, no compass. I looked at it, and the first 6 checkpoints, there were 11, the first 6, 5 of them were the same as the one I just did. You have to do them in order too, but that was okay. They were in order, except there was 1 extra one. So I kind of got in my head where that extra one was, went out and did the first 6, came back to the map, and then I memorized the next 5 checkpoints. So they were, I think I actually memorized 6, but I knew I didn't have to go to 1. So it was like 62, 69, 72, 73, no, 80, anyways, 63, 64, 79, 81. That's what the numbers were. So I had a general idea where they were, and then I had to just check and make sure I was getting the right numbers. So I went and did it. I messed up on one of them. That was 79. And I was like, it was up in the woods. And I went too far, I guess it was, let's see, too far east when I went up in the woods. It was actually further west. And then when it wasn't the right number, I actually bushwhacked and went even further east. And it was like, no, shh, I'm telling a story. And it was like, no, that's not it. So then anyways, and then I'm kind of trying to get my orientation. So then anyways, I started walking along the woods, and then it was right easy to find. So Chicken Hawk, you gotta be quiet. Can you be quiet? I might have to put him away. Okay. So anyways, okay, you're gonna go. Sorry about that. So I put Chicken Hawk back downstairs. So anyways, bottom line, I did the no maps much better than I did with maps. So I ended up only being 22 minutes The one with map, I was 39 minutes. Now, there were different numbers of checkpoints, but that's significantly different. There were 16 in the first one, 11 in the second one. But still, wow, I actually did it really well. So, I'm out of breath from running downstairs and running back up. Probably should have taken a few minutes to get my breath. So that's the end of the orienteering season. But good timing, because now I'm off to BC and to be with Mom, and I will come back, and then I'll have no more commitments for the time being, and I can focus on stitching and orienteering and walking probably. We met a lady there, and she told us about a 24-hour running or walking event, 24-hour event. And so I'm kind of excited about that. So we haven't signed up yet. It's called a weekend. Well, no, it's a day in Wentworth. So we're just thinking about it, and we'll probably actually sign up New Year's Eve, because we did that once before, and it's kind of a neat thing to do. So obviously, I will be spending Christmas. My husband and I won't be spending Christmas or New Year's together. He's looking forward to being a bachelor again, with both of us being marrying later in life. We were very used to being single and being bachelor or bachelorette. So it's he's kind of looking forward to it. And I hope he enjoys that. And yeah, be having my own adventure, and hopefully I'll be able to get my finishes done and do my floss tubes. So I plan on trying to do my floss tubes. I might not be as scheduled, just based on what I have to do with my mom, but we'll see what I can do. So I will still be seeing you before I go, because I will see you in 2 weeks' time. So that will be, I believe, I think that's the Friday right before I leave. So I think that is around the, I think it's the 7th. I think it'll be December 7th. So I gotta get stuff together. Wow. It's funny when you're getting ready for travel, you get the severe procrastination and not wanting to do all the things. I got a list of things to do. I think there's at least 10 things on the list, at least. And I've done one. Oh well. I will get there. It will all happen, and I am sure I will have a fine time out there, and then before you know it, I'll be back home in my comfort place. So there you go. So that's it for me for now, I think, and I shall see you guys in 2 weeks' time. So take care, everybody. Happy stitching, and talk to you later. Bye.